Well, hello. This is the third episode, I think, and I've just been doing these first three episodes really just off the cuff. I just want to get something out there as quickly as possible, just to open up discussions about certain topics. And in this episode, what I want to talk about is song lyrics and poetic devices used in song lyrics, because my opinion is that basically songs are just glorified poems with better rhythm and melody and stuff. So I think songs have really become what poems used to be in our culture, in Western culture, because now they're really accessible because anyone can have access to them on the internet. Because I have read creative writing instruction books where they say that basically one of the big problems in our culture is that songs are so prevalent that people don't know how to write poems anymore. But I'm very opposed to that sentiment. I think that poems and songs are pretty much from the same vein. They're the same light of our artistic source. I guess the writer of that book was pretty much just saying that he wants a more traditional form of poetry to be in our culture. But if we look at poetry as an abstract thing that anyone can have access to, I'd say that song lyrics and the words of songs would definitely qualify as a form of poetry. So obviously this talk is going to be more of an informal discussion about form, not about content. And I think content of what you're trying to say is the more important thing rather than how you get it across. But I just want to go through several songs. I want to go through one alternative rock song and look at the lyrics, and then look at a rap song, look at the lyrics and compare the two. I'm going to look at two alternative rock songs and two rap songs. So I'm just going to start looking at these. So I want to actually look at 3 or 4 sets of lyrics. So the first one I want to look at is A Better Place by Silverstein, or Silverstein, however you pronounce that. It's kind of like a Frankenstein. I mean, let's just go through this. A Better Place by Silverstein. It's from the album This Is How the Wind Shifts. She said she never believed in the idea of fate. No love at first sight stories. I wasn't her soulmate. When she collapsed, I thought she was joking, but she didn't get up again. She did not get up again. 1,000 flowers, 1,000 cards to say. She's in a better place. She's in a better place. Just face it, you can't let go. I can't be spoken for anymore. Just face it, you're on your own. I gave up everything I know. It carries on, it never stops. How could I go on without? How could I go on without? Just face it, you can't let go. You can't let go. She always said I was way too safe, and I never could have fun. I had to make some mistakes and get into trouble while I'm young. So we broke into the old train station and danced away the night until the cops chased us away. It breaks my heart to think she's in a better place. You can't let go. Just face it. Just face it. One day I took off my ring to see if the memory would start to fade. The time I spent away, I wasted all those days. She's in a better place. She's in a better place. You can't let go. And that just continues the chorus again. If I could, I'd trade with you. If I could, I would. And that was the lyrics, so now I'm going to first give my thoughts about it. So the first thing I noticed about these song lyrics was that there's a part here where it says, one day I took off my ring to see if the memory would start to fade. This is pretty much the most crucial line in this whole song, because first, what kind of ring is that? Is that like a wedding ring? Because when you're reading the song, you get the impression that these kids are pretty young when the female character dies. So might be like a metaphorical ring because you still can't get over the death of this girl. So I mean, but the fact that the speaker sort of wants the memories to fade. It's like a part of the grief cycle, because he's starting to realize that the pain of her loss is starting to destroy his life. In some ways, he'd be better off if he never knew this person, but she's deceased now. So, and I'm gonna have links to all these lyrics in my description of this video. I'm just showing all the poetic devices that are present in these songs. So at first glance, this song seems to be pretty simple, just telling a story about a brief story about lamenting the death of a loved one. But I think when you dig into this, there are actually some images that you can get from this. So I'm just going to list the images I find in this poem. There might not be that many, but they stand out, I think. So the first image that really stands out is 1,000 flowers, 1,000 cards. It really shows that just the amount of the flowers, because I doubt that for one person there'd be 1,000 flowers and 100 cards, maybe 100 cards, but yeah, because flowers are more like they're bunched together usually. So I mean that actually might be the case, but it's actually an accurate picture of what this person's receiving on her grave, probably. But she's in a better place. She's in a better place. Okay, so the next image I see here is we broke into the old train station and danced away the night until the cops chased us away. And I think that's, and there's like 3 images in this poem. First, the 1,000 flowers, 1,000 cards, 100 cards, and then we broke into the old train station and danced away the night until the cops chased us away. And then the other one is, I took off my ring. So there's an image of someone taking off their ring. And those images really carry through the entire song, I think. When you listen to the actual melody, the melody of the song actually really helps. But I'm just focusing on the words so I can show that even when we just look at the words, they're really powerful. Now I just want to comment on the first stanza just off the cuff. She said she never believed in the idea of fate. No love at first sight stories, I wasn't her soulmate. When she collapsed, I thought she was joking, but she didn't get up again. She did not get up again. And this just really shows the shock, the unbelief about what happened. About she must be like, because it says I thought she was joking. She was crying out for help or something. But the speaker of the song does not believe that's what happened. That it's just a total shock that something like this would happen, because kids, we think we're invincible really when we're really young, but then when we get older, we start to see our own mortality. We start to be afraid of death. And yeah, I think she never believed in the idea of fate. No love at first sight stories, I wasn't her soulmate. So this really shows that even off the cuff here, even at the beginning of this song, the Shane Told is trying to, the singer from Silverstein, he's trying to create the idea that the deceased character does not believe in fate, so she probably won't believe that the idea that there is a better place. So what the characters are trying to say here, when they say she's in a better place, that's something that even the speaker would not, the deceased character wouldn't even believe herself. I'm actually reading the lyrics off of genius.com, and there's an interesting comment on one of these on the third, like the verse after the chorus. She always said I was way too safe and I never could have fun. I had to make some mistakes and get into trouble while I'm young. So we broke into the old train station and we danced away the night until the cops chased us away. So this is something, I'm going to read the comment someone wrote off of on Genius here. So Shane told Alternative Press, "This is the first of 2 tracks on this record that deal with death and the idea of the afterlife. Losing a loved one changes you in some cases, can break you completely. This song deals with the undeserved initial regret and blame people put on themselves. It's a sad song and has a human element in the way it's written that always chokes me up a bit when I read it. The song is narrated by the male character desperate after his girlfriend's death, whereas in its twin song, To Live and to Lose, the story is told by the girl." So that is a very important aspect of this song. That the band Silverstein wanted to do is they wanted to create a album with, it's a concept album, but there's a song on the album, and then on the other half of the album, there's another song that's a counterpart to every single song on the album, every other song. So, yeah, this was just a really powerful song, and there's the poetic devices in it. There's imagery. There's of course there's like rhythm, because it's a rhythmic. You can really feel the music even when you don't really have the melody in front of you, listening to the melody. But there's repetition. I think this song is just really powerful. It's also one of my favorite songs off of this record because of especially the story it tells. Even though it's so brief, like there's only like 2 or 3 instances of action in the story. So she collapsed, then it says 1,000 flowers, 100 cards to say she's in a better place. So she died, then we had the funeral stuff going on. Then the chorus is the character lamenting what happened. And now it tells the story of them breaking into the old train station. And we don't know if it's the main character's fault that she died or not. And I haven't yet... till the other song, the twin song for this song, is actually one of my other favorite songs on this record. But I have not really dug into the lyrics yet. So I'd have to do that to see if there's actually parallels with this one, because they might like go together. And I think that's all I'm going to say about the song. So I think I'm just going to end here, because I just wanted to give a quick example of how song lyrics have lots of poetic aspects to them. Of course they do, but just wanted to bring that out there to say that song lyrics are not too different from poems. They're pretty much the same thing, except they have more melodic and rhythmic influence. And I think if I go over like 15 minutes again, then people will just lose interest in what I'm saying, because I want to have shorter episodes from now on. So, and I will continue this same sentiment in the future by talking about more song lyrics in more episodes, but I just wanted to do like one song in this episode. So bye everyone, I'll see you next time.